All right, so this video is going to be a little bit different than our typical content. In this video, we're not going to be talking about reselling. We're actually going to be talking about YouTube and my YouTube journey and how I've made YouTube successful for me. Since I did my home tour, I've been getting quite a few requests for this video, and I decided, you know what? Why not? Let's just do it. And so if it's really not your thing, feel free to skip this video. I won't be upset. You won't hurt my feelings. I totally get it. So in order to tell this story, I have to start from the very beginning, which was in college. And it starts with my paralyzing fear of public speaking. Yes, I am terrified of public speaking. To this day, I hate public speaking. I can't do it. And back in college, I would approach my professors. If there was any oral presentation in their curriculum, I would approach them and plead. I would beg them to let me out of it. And I would bribe them with reports. I will do a report, or you can take points off of my grade. Just please don't make me do it. Don't make me stand up in front of the class. I can't do it. I will die. And eventually, I ended up getting out of all of my oral presentations like a boss. And so you can imagine how that prepared me for the real world. It took me 10 years to get my associate's degree. Now, part of the reason for that is because I didn't know what I wanted to be when I grew up. So at one point, I was a criminal justice major, a journalism major, an English major, a marketing major, and I just jumped around, and then I'd take a year off, and then I'd find myself, and I'd decide I wanted to do this. But then after 10 years, I looked at what I was doing, and I looked at my debt, and I thought, you know what? What's the quickest way out of here? So my counselor said, general studies. And so I patched together this degree, and the last and final class that I had to take to get that degree was public speaking. And so I overcame my fear of taking that class, and I took it online. I took an online public speaking class, and in order to pass this class, all I had to do was talk to a camera just like this. Just like this. And so I didn't actually have to overcome my fear of public speaking. I just had to overcome my fear of taking the public speaking class. And to this day, I'm still afraid of public speaking. But I've gotten, I've realized that talking to a camera is really not that scary at all. And so that's a plus. But at the time of finishing up college and finally getting that 2-year degree that took me 10, I had just taken on a new hobby. And that hobby was metal detecting. Yes, metal detecting. And I had just bought a brand new metal detector. And I decided that I wanted to write a blog about it. I loved writing. Always a very strong writer. And so I decided to write a blog about metal detecting. And so I started writing this blog, and I gained a lot of attention in the metal detecting community, and I was picked up as a columnist for a metal detecting magazine. And so I was doing this at this time of taking this class. And in taking this class, I realized, well, there's a lot of people making metal detecting YouTube videos. And talking to a camera really isn't that bad. Maybe I could try that. Forget this blog thing. I could talk to a camera. Sure, why not? Let's try YouTube. So that's kind of how I got started on YouTube. That was my origin story of YouTube, is this class that I was forced to take in order to get a degree. And so I decided to make YouTube videos about metal detecting. Now, the best thing that I didn't do was I didn't ever watch another metal detecting video ever when I got started. So I had no concept and no idea of how a metal detecting video should be. I didn't know the components that people use. I didn't know, okay, this is the setup. You need an intro. You need to find something. You need to do this. I didn't know what other people were doing because I didn't watch their videos. The only videos I watched on YouTube were the videos that my kids watched when I was in the room. That was it. And so I started making videos without knowing what anyone else was doing. And they were all my own. They were all my own because I wasn't copying anyone. And so my very early videos were just me holding my phone like this. and I would basically just talk to my phone. And that was a lot of, so I just, I found this penny on, in the ground, and, okay, see you tomorrow. Those are my earliest videos. They were pretty cringe, to be honest, and I did no editing at all. They were just a portrait thing of me holding my camera wrong. It was like this. For those of you who don't know, it's supposed to be like this. And I would put them up on YouTube. And oh boy, I actually just watched the videos the other day, and I'm visualizing them in my head and how horrible they were. So yeah, those are my earliest videos. And then after a while, I realized, you know what, maybe I should try editing these videos and putting together clips. And at the time I had a laptop, and I had Windows Movie Maker, and it was a free software on the laptop. And so I started filming clips and putting them together into an actual video. And I would trim the beginning and the end of the clip just so that you couldn't see me fumbling with the camera. And I put, you know, that was my videos, and I'd put them up on YouTube. And it was great. So that, you know, those are my early videos. Oh gosh, if you ever have the time, you should go back and laugh at them with me. It would be great. So that channel really, it did really well. And depending on who you ask, there's a lot of people in the hobby who say it's because you're a woman that your channel did really well. Personally, I like to think it's because of all the hard work that I put into it. I worked hard on that channel, and I worked hard on that channel for 2 or 3 years. And I put out consistent content, and I, you know, at the very beginning, I put out daily content. And I think that was really important. I think the 2 best things at the very beginning of that channel was I'd never seen another video, and so I created my own. And second of all, I put out as much content as quickly as I possibly could. And my channel grew fast. And I believe that that together was the perfect storm to create a great channel. And so that's kind of, you know, why that channel grew. Now, to talk about how Crazy Lamp Lady, you know, comes into all of this. I mean, there's a lot more to Relic Recoverist, but I'm not going to get into all of that. But I did. I worked hard on it for years, and that's important to note before we jump into how Crazy Lamp Lady ties in. It's important to note that it took me years. It took me so many years. And you know, it wasn't until 10,000 subscribers that I decided to even monetize. It was about the passion. You know, a lot of people get into this and they say, I'm going to get rich on YouTube. Good luck. You know, a lot of people don't understand the amount of work and the tears and the tantrums that go into YouTube. You know, at 10,000 subscribers, I decided I was going to monetize. And I remember my first YouTube payment was $300. And it was the best ever. I mean, at the time, I wasn't making very much money at all. And I had $300 in 1 month. They pay you monthly. So it was $300 in 1 month. And I was so excited. And you know what I did? I went to Best Buy, and I went with my dad. And we went in, and I was looking at laptops. And, you know, I got a laptop that I would make payments on. And I bought the laptop based on the amount of money I was making monthly on YouTube. And so I reinvested into YouTube. I didn't just go out and spend all this money. I reinvested into a laptop with a better editing software so that I could edit my videos and make them better and improve my game. And I feel like that was the best thing to do. And I continued to do that throughout my YouTube career, I guess you could say. Every time that I started making more money, I'm buying a new camera. I'm buying a new computer. I'm buying new editing software. And I just continue to reinvest into it. But one of the most valuable things that people say in the YouTube industry, and I don't even know who is the first to say it, and it goes for a lot of things in life. It's not just YouTube, but it's not a sprint. It's a marathon. And it really is. It is a marathon. So let's talk about how Crazy Lamp Lady plays in. So Crazy Lamp Lady came into play because during the off months when Relic Recoverist, you know, is metal detecting channel, and I couldn't really get out and metal detect when the ground was frozen. And so when the ground was frozen, I needed to come up with content, and I needed to have filler content, so to speak. One of the things about YouTube is that you need to remain consistent. The algorithms like consistency. And so you improve yourself in the search results when you are consistent. Whether you're consistent weekly or whether you're consistent daily, the algorithm likes to see consistency. So if you take a break, say if you're posting daily and you take a day off, they're going to punish you. Or if you post weekly and you take a week off, they're going to punish you. So it's very important to keep your channel consistent. And so in those off months when I couldn't go metal detecting and I couldn't get the content, I decided to lean a little bit on my other hobby. And my other hobby, as you know, is picking. And I've been doing that for years before I was metal detecting. And so I decided that I was going to go out to thrift stores and I was going to make videos about it. Now, the same principle applies to the Crazy Lamp Lady videos that applied to Relic Recoverist. And that's the best thing that I didn't do. I didn't watch any other videos about thrifting or antiquing. And so I had no idea what other people were doing. I didn't know that there was a format. I didn't even know that those videos existed on YouTube. Granted, there's no new content on YouTube, but I didn't know they were a thing. And so I just went out and I decided, this is what I have to show in the video. I have to find something. I have to say, this is what it's worth. This is what I can sell it for. And occasionally this is how much I sold it for. And so I started making these videos on Relic Recovers just as filler content. They were never intended to be great. They were never intended to have amazing views because the content on that channel was intended for metal detecting. And I knew these videos, weren't going to really, the people watching those videos, they weren't going to care much for the thrifting videos. And so it was whatever. I just needed to continue the consistency. And so about 2 seasons of winter, the second season in, I was, doing the same thing, putting out these thrifting videos just to keep going. And that's when it happened. That is when it happened. That is when I was putting out these filler videos that weren't supposed to really do anything. They were just space fillers. And one of them went viral. One of them just took off the charts, better than any metal detecting video that I had ever made. And I don't know how, I don't know why, but for some reason it just exploded and the views just skyrocketed and the subscribers on my channel just blew up. And this was in January. And for those of you who don't know, January is the worst month on YouTube. So the way we get paid is through advertisers, and the advertisers boost their advertising in October, November, December for Christmas. And then January, their advertising budgets are all dried up and Christmas is over. So it falls back down. January is the worst month for YouTube. And this was a video that took off in January. I expected to be hurting in January, and this video just took off. It was crazy. And that was the best month that I ever had on YouTube. The best month ever. I made $1,200 on YouTube that month. And you'd think I'd been doing this 2 or 3 years. That was the best month I'd ever had on YouTube. And I remember being like, what just happened? This is crazy. That was the moment for me. That was the moment that I realized I could do this. I could totally make this my job. And so I quit my real job. I quit my real job. I'd been wanting to do it for a while, and this just it was enough for me that I just said, guess what? I'm done. And so I did. I quit my real job. But it really got me thinking about new ways to approach content. And okay, so maybe these aren't just filler videos. Maybe I have something here. And so I kind of grasped onto that, and I decided I need to start a second channel for this content. And so I did. I started Crazy Lamp Lady as a second channel. And the reason I started a second channel is because Relic Recoverist was a metal detecting channel. That was the content. That's what people came looking for. They weren't there for thrifting videos. They were great for filler content, but if I was going to put out a lot of those videos quickly, I needed to do that on a separate channel. So I started a separate channel, and I started Crazy Lamp Lady. And I did the same thing with the Crazy Lamp Lady channel that I did with the Relic Recoverist channel. Not only, with as far as the content goes, but also with the as quick as I was putting out content. I was putting out content as quickly as possible, and I was doing it consistently. And my channel grew because of it. So I was putting out quick, consistent content. And I saw similar growth to what I had with Relic Recoverist there at the beginning. So it was the same formula, quick, consistent content, never having seen another video. It was my own, and I did it. And both channels, same formula. So it works for me. But as far as Crazy Lamp Lady goes, it really just gained momentum. I mean, it just the momentum never really stopped with Crazy Lamp Lady. For a little while there, we did have some issues with monetization. So what happened was I was putting videos over there, and then I got monetized, but they weren't playing any ads on the channel. So this was a glitch with YouTube, and there was actually multiple creators during that time period that had this glitch. But I eventually got it fixed, and I got Crazy Lamp Lady running the way it needed to be running. And so putting content over there, I eventually got my viral video on Crazy Lamp Lady. And I think that's really what it takes on any channel. You need that viral video, and that's what launches it. And I got that viral video on Crazy Lamp Lady, and my channel just kept growing. And I think what was important is that when I got that viral video, I continued the momentum. I continued putting out the daily content. And every single day, I was looking at my analytics and saying, okay, I need to put out a good video tomorrow. I need to do this. I need to do that. And I just rode that wave. And I just watched my subscriber numbers go up and my views go up. And that was important for my channel's growth. What was to continue, I caught the wave and I followed it. And my channel grew. So I think, there's a lot of creators out there who are struggling and who are at that stage where I was in tears and, maybe I need to get a real job. Do what's best for you. I took that leap and I quit my job when I got the $1,200, which thank goodness it worked out, because if it didn't work out, I don't know where I'd be right now. But I just knew I could do it, and I had faith in myself to do it, and it worked out. But I know there's a lot of creators out there right now who are struggling, and so my best advice to creators that are trying to make it work is you have to be consistent. You can't, put out a video 1 week and then 2 weeks later put out another video and then 2 days later put out another video. You have to be consistent with your content, and you have to stay in favor of the algorithms, if you know what I mean. So you have to be consistent. And as far as content goes, it's really important to talk to the camera like you're talking to a friend. I know a lot of people get psyched out about talking to a camera. It takes practice. It does. One of the things that have helped me is not having a flip screen. And that's one of the things that when Andrew was starting his channel, I gave him a TG Olympus camera that doesn't have a flip screen. And he was all worried about it. And I said, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Just look at the lens. Because a lot of people with the flip screen look up and they don't look at their lens. And it's important to look at your lens. And I feel better about looking at my lens because I'm not focused on myself. When I'm looking at the lens, it's just easier. But yeah, I'm just trying to think of, advice that I can give. There are a lot of trolls. There are a lot of trolls on YouTube. And that's one thing that you have to prepare yourself for. The worst of my trolls came from my metal detecting channel. Up until a few weeks ago. And then it all came over to Crazy Lamp Lady. Like, I never had any issues on Crazy Lamp Lady. But I think Relic Recoverist really prepared me for what I would have to deal with on YouTube. And so it really helped strengthen me and make me stronger and realize, you know, these people don't know me. They're just trolls. And I still get caught up in it sometimes, and it's still hard, especially now, you know, dealing with all the current events that are going on. And I think that emotions are just at a boiling point for everyone. And these days are just tough, but it's gonna all get back to normal. But that, you know, that's one of the things to consider is if you're gonna do YouTube, are you gonna be able to handle it? Sometimes I don't think I can handle it, but it's important. It's super important. But I mean, the bottom line is YouTube is not quick. It's not easy. It's not a sprint. It's not going to happen quickly. It's going to take time. And, you know, you got to do it for yourself. And you got to do it yourself. You can't expect to latch on to anyone else. You have to do it for yourself. I did. It took me years, but I did it. And I did it without any shout outs. I did it without really any collabs. I did it. You know, Aqua Chigger, the wizard, those of you who watch metal detecting know who he is. He was my very first big collab. And it was through Garrett Metal Detectors. We're both sponsored by Garrett. And that all came about because they were sending me to England. And I'd never met the guy before, and we met in the airport, and we were going away for 10 days together. Like that, it was like, okay, all right, I'm meeting this YouTuber with 1 million subscribers. And he is my mentor. He is my friend, and we became really close over the years. And you know, last year he came to my 4th of July party with his wife. She's so sweet. I really love Lindsay. We went caving together. They're really great people. You know, but I never went seeking shout outs. And I think, you know, and I'm going to be honest, you know, it kind of turns me off when people ask me for, you know, hey, will you give me a shout out? Will you give me this? Will you give me that? And I think the reason for that is because I never asked for it. And I just worked hard for it. And so when I get people asking me, hey, will you give this to me? Will you give that to me? I just, you know, I worked hard. and occasionally I will. Occasionally I try to recognize people for the hard work that they're putting in, but it's not, I don't like being asked for it. And I think that's important. You know, if you want to grow, the best thing you could do is work hard, and show people that you're working hard. And I think that really just pretty much sums it up. I hope this is encouraging to a lot of you, you know, that were requesting this video. You can be successful on YouTube. You can make it work. You can make a living doing it. I don't like to talk about how much I make on YouTube. It's not something I talk about. I know there's Social Blade out there. Social Blade is not correct. Social Blade is usually off. I know a lot of you are like, oh, you can look it up on Social Blade. The best month that I've ever had on YouTube, I made 22 grand. So I can sit here and tell you, yes, you can be successful on YouTube. Of course, that money that we made that month, we reinvested it. We reinvested it in our business. You know, we have a building now, we have employees, you know, it's been reinvested. It's not like, oh, I'm going off on a spending spree. You know, it's a business to us, and that's how we look at it. It's not just fancy cars or, you know, it's not nothing like that. But you can be successful at YouTube. You just got to work hard. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I don't know what else there is to say. If you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. I will try my hardest to answer them. I know I'm not the best at answering comments. You guys know I'm pretty busy. But I do have time to answer comments, especially these days. So feel free to drop them in the comments, and I guess I'll see you guys tomorrow. Later.